Okay, what's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Sunday edition of Morning Scone, presented by Brock, the Veterans with P Clinic, Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com, Restored Motions, RestoredMotions.com, and ProChargeEV, All right, y'all. Happy game day, final one of the year. Week 18, Saints Panthers. Week or year one of the Dennis Allen era comes to a close today. Tomorrow should be a pretty fascinating day. It will be a Black Monday around the NFL where coaching changes, coaches get fired, as is known as Black Monday. And that's going to be really interesting because it'll be a pretty good indicator of what teams might be pursuing Sean Payton. Of course, we know the Saints want a first rounder for Sean Payton, which I assume they're going to get, by the way. And it may not be in 2023, but maybe it's in 2024. Burrow. If you missed the news from Adam Schefter, the Broncos have formally requested and been granted permission to interview Sean Payton. So that there's one, and hopefully the bidding war begins there. But so Sean Payton will presumably interview with the Broncos for their vacant job. And as we've talked about, the Broncos have a couple of first round picks in this upcoming draft. I'm sorry, forgive me. They traded their first round pick in the upcoming draft. In the Russell Wilson deal, but they do have a late first round pick that they had acquired. So it'd be a pick in the 20s, and we'll see, man. We'll see what kind of package Denver's willing to offer for Sean Payton. In the meantime, Saints are going to go play a game today against Carolina. The Saints are a 3.5-point favorite in that football game. Let's see if they could finish off an 8-9 season, and if they do, that would be the exact same record that they had a year ago with Sean Payton at the helm. Now, look dramatically different, and I'll continue to point out that a year ago you were rolling out there with Trevor Siemian and Ian Book for Taysom Hill, as opposed to Andy Dalton, who'd started 150 games at quarterback in his NFL career. So. You had a much more experienced veteran quarterback this year who he didn't play very well, but that puts perspective on what you had a year ago. And then, after that, you're talking about all the injuries you had a year ago where you literally started more different players than anyone in the history of the NFL and went 8-9. This year you were, you had injury issues, but you were healthier and you started terribly, but you're looking like you're going to finish strong. As opposed to a year ago where they started strong, Jameis got hurt, and then they finished poorly. But anyway, let's see how they do today. See if they can get out there and maybe have a resounding divisional win over Sam Darnold. You're in the dome. Let's see how it goes today. So, all right, we'll say some good mornings. LSU basketball really got dominated yesterday by Texas A&M, and that's disappointing because I guess I'm looking at it, I would have thought before the season you probably weren't going to beat Arkansas, but you'd have a good chance to beat A&M. Well, you went 1-1 in those games, just not the way we thought it would go, but either way. And Pels lost last night as well. It's going to be tough, man. On the road, 10-point loss at Dallas. Luka's obviously one of the best players in the league, and you're shorthanded, no Zion, no BI. They got to get healthy, so. Okay, let's say some good mornings, man. See what y'all got. As always, appreciate y'all for being here. YouTube, smash that like button. Facebook, please like the page, share the post. Truax, what's up? Charlie Gale, Lance Richard. Tough loss for men's basketball. They were dominated. Trailed by as many as 17. It was never really a contest. A double-digit deficit at half, and you lost by double digits. So you turn the ball over 15 times and you shot 34% from the floor. You're not going to win games, especially on the road doing that. Ryan Amanda Guidry, good morning. Jeremy Sagely, good morning. Matt, I was just watching a YouTube of AFR when you were going off on Irish Breakdown when they stated Brian Kelly could win an Addy. It was epic. Yeah, what was that guy's name? Brian something or other was that guy's name. The Notre Dame guy. God bless him. Ryan Amanda Gidry, it'll be interesting what the Broncos will do. Yeah, I mean, they're going to interview Sean Payton and they're going to offer the Saints, something. I think Ryan, the more interesting thing is what other teams are interested. Because if you end up having, the best case scenario for the Saints is Denver's interested and Arizona fires Kingsbury, they're interested. And, Miami is looking for a coach. All of a sudden you have 3 or 4 openings that would all be interested in Payton, and now you got somewhat of a bidding war. That's what would benefit the Saints the most. How about Doug Peterson? I mean, back-to-back seasons, the worst team in the NFL, and now you're a division champ. That guy's a good coach, man. Golly, good coach. Right. I can't tell you who that is, but gotta love some meaningless football. Still football, man. I'm gonna enjoy it while we can get it. Normal guy, Greg, good morning. Shannon Mac, Jason H, Franklin Zubia, good morning. I hope they don't play Ramchick. Why not, Franklin? I hope they do. If he's good to go, play him. I mean, he'll have 6 months to get healthy, after today. Jeremiah Hardell, thoughts on the uniform combo? Yeah, interesting. So the Saints are going to go gold helmet, black jersey, white pants. They did that like in the Bum Phillips era. I mean, if you go back to the 60s, the Saints would wear that uniform combo, the gold helmet, the black jersey, the white pants. So I think they're probably going to wear their solid white pants, which I hate. The white pants that they use for color rush that have the big black, gold, black stripe down the pant leg, those are great. If they would wear those, the white pants with the stripe down the leg, then I'd be down with it. I think it would be a great look. And if the stripe matched the sleeve, right? If they wore the jersey with the like the color rush or the throwbacks with the white, gold, white on the sleeve on the black jersey, or the white jersey with the black, gold, black on the sleeve, I think that would be awesome. So Jeremiah Hardell, I guess to answer your question, I don't hate it, but it could be better. Jonathan Martin, Tolan committed to Auburn. Shocker. I mean, I called that one from the beginning, y'all. Called that one from without an ounce of knowledge as to what was going on. Called that one from the beginning. When it makes no sense whatsoever for a player to leave, like none, and he leaves, something seems fishy. It's fishy. And there you have it. I'm telling you, I don't know anything. I'm telling you, they broke that kid off. They got to him and they paid him. That's unfortunate, man. That's really unfortunate. But listen, I can't sit here and criticize it because I'm very pro NIL. It's not supposed to be used for recruiting inducements. And I'm not telling you that Auburn's coaches were making those phone calls, but someone at Auburn was making those phone calls because they called Harold Perkins too. And they called Campbell and Emory Jones. And Auburn's got a gigantic nut in their collective, and they are spending, and they are looking to poach players. And LSU was able to keep some, but clearly weren't able to keep all. So, Christian, good morning, Matt. Can you see the Saints looking into Jim Harbaugh? Objectively, is 8-9 DA's first year without a franchise quarterback all that terrible? Just curious. No, I mean, that's kind of, so will they look into Jim Harbaugh? No. I mean, they're going to bring Dennis Allen back next year, so it doesn't matter either way. And is it all that terrible? There were points this year that were objectively very bad. And I think you also have to acknowledge the fact that they have improved over the final month. Most notably, the defense over the last 5 weeks has been fantastic. They're allowing an average of 13 points a game. It looks like the defenses that Dennis Allen was coordinating under Sean Payton. That's what it's looked like the last month. Like, if you had looked like that all year, you'd be a playoff team. Kyle Milliken, isn't it great the Saints have made it clear they want a first rounder for Sean? It kind of sets the floor for the bidding war, hopefully. Yeah, Kyle, but you also have to have teams that are willing to give that. I mean, keep in mind, like, you can set your ask price, but that doesn't mean somebody's going to be willing to pay it. Eric Wilderrider golfing in California this summer. I was paired with 2 former Arizona players. They could not have spoken more highly of Jay Johnson. It's so clear why after listening to the Rosters to Riches pod. Oh, yeah. I went back and re-listened to it yesterday. If y'all haven't, go back, go check it out. I know I've mentioned it a couple of times, but Rosters to Riches podcast, the episode Jay Johnson dropped last week. And not only did we talk NIL, but he just talked a ton about building a program. He told great stories about Tommy White and about how he got Paul Skeens. I really think you'll enjoy it. Go back and listen to it. Jason H., Bad News Birds lost again. Yeah, man. They got to get healthy. Daniel Roof, Nicholas Cantrell, Dane Bergeron. Morning, Matt. Morning, Dane. Battling the crud over here. Sorry to hear that, man. Dr. Jack Daniels hot toddy is better than prescription medicine for this stuff. I will tell you, while that's a great option, Dane, the thing I'll tell you that the medicine that when you have that I feel like brings me back to life is Zyrtec D. You got to get it behind the counter at a pharmacy, but Zyrtec D is that stuff. When I'm really feeling it and I need to go, that brings me back to life. Saint for life, what's going on? St. Taurus, good morning, Scone. Well, behind enemy lines, taking the wife to see Brady's possible last game as a buck. I'm wearing my 28-3 shirt. All right, man. Some person, good morning. 2023, Brian Kelly proves that man wrong. Yeah, I don't think LSU's winning a national championship in 2023. I think they could. I don't know if the roster is quite going to be there, but I certainly think they take another big step next year. I don't think it's a flat year. I think it's a better year next year than it was this year. Excuse me. Let's see. You did talk about we needed the wins against A&M in Florida. I did, Ryan. Now Florida becomes critical for LSU basketball. Tuesday at the Maravich Center, you better go get that one. Because if you don't, it may be a long while before you win again. Hey, Dad. Good morning. Trey Potan. Good morning. Went to Don Juan last night. Awesome time. Love to hear it. Chris Keller, do you think we trade Thomas or let him walk? Yeah, nobody is going to trade for Michael Thomas. I mean, for the bajillionth time. Nobody, if you're trading for Michael Thomas, you would have to give up an asset to take on not only the player, but also the player's contract. And that's a player that hasn't played in really 3 seasons. So no, like you've got to get rid of the idea that you're going to trade Michael Thomas because no team is going to give you anything for him. The Saints are going to cut Michael Thomas. He'll be designated a post-June. For those that missed it, Saints restructured Michael Thomas's contract yesterday. It basically sets up for a post-June 1 designation. It'll give the Saints cap relief, and Michael Thomas will go play somewhere else. So it's disappointing. When they gave him the contract, it was warranted. And the first year of the new contract is, when he set the receiving record. So it seemed like he validated it, and then just sucks. Guy just lived injured for the last 3 seasons, so disappointing. But yeah, Michael Thomas is, for all intents and purposes, is done as a Saint. Jeff McKithen, good morning. Mark Vitanovich, good morning. Blaine Smith, what's up? Saints have a lot of defensive free agents. They're going to have to decide, who they pay, like they do. I mean, that's the nature every year, right? You got to decide which of your guys you're going to keep. My guess is they'll make Caden Ellis a priority. They got to. They're at that position. Bubba Smith, Todd Harris. Do you think Landry and Matthew are back next year with the Saints? Yes. So let's look at their contracts. So Jarvis signed a 1-year, $3 million deal. It's kind of a prove it deal. Now he could hit the open market, obviously, and see what. I mean, he's a free agent, so we'll see. But after an injury-plagued season, I'm not so sure that there's going to be a robust market. When last year he signed a 1-year, $3 million deal, it would make a lot of sense for him to sign a similar contract and remain in New Orleans instead of going to start over somewhere else. Tyron. Tyron's deal was a 3-year deal. Let's see. Here you go. There it is. Tyron's deal, 3-year, $28.3 million. So the Saints out is after next season. So he'll be on the roster for $8.9 million against the cap. His dead number is 14.6. So again, for Tyron to be on your team, it costs you 8.9. If he's not on your team, cut him, trade him, whatever, it costs you 14.6. So yeah, so Tyron will be back for sure. Unless he retires or something like that. But Jarvis is a free agent. I just don't think there's going to be much of a market for him. Oh yeah, smash that like button if you would. 116 there on YouTube. Facebook, please like the page, share the post. Always shout out to Brock. It is the weekend, so After Hours Clinic is open as an alternative to the ER. If you need orthopedics, go see our friends at Brock. Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know. It's raining right now. It's clockwork. When it rains, our phones at Hudco ring. So, we have not done in a while. We have not done this in a while, y'all. Let's just do it. Let's do it. Hudco Roofing. Hudco Roofing. When you need a roof, call someone you know. Scone. All you need is Hudco. Call Hudco Roofing. 364-1007. Rainy morning. You know what that means. It's a rainy morning. People's roof's going to be leaking. Call us. Hudco Roofing. 364-1007 to click that link, HudcoRoofing.com. I'll remind you again, ProCharge EV also. ProCharge, Terrio, and the gang's new venture. I'll be helping them promote it. Electric vehicle charging stations for the home, for public buildings, your business owner. If you're a business owner, install a charging station. So when people who drive EVs are looking for a charging station, they stop at your business while they got 20, 30 minutes in charge. They come hang out in your business. We also learn like tap to pay options. So if you're a business owner, you can install your EV charging stations. You can have a tap to pay option, so people pay you to use your charging station. So lots of revenue models around it if you need it for your home. ProCharge EV. Please follow ProCharge on Instagram. There's a post coming. I'm not responsible for the post, but there's a post coming about the first pitch banquet, LSU baseball first pitch banquet, and ProCharge is a sponsor of the first pitch banquet, so they have a table, and Terrio is giving away 2 seats at that table with him. He invited me to come, so LSU baseball first pitch banquet, January 22nd, and you can win. But you're going to have to like follow ProCharge on Instagram. You're going to have to like a post and tag someone. All of the instructions will be at the Instagram page, hopefully today. Spurge, what's up? Wendell Norman, what's up? Brant Roban, where can I find the clip I used for around the SEC of the guy yelling Texas A&M? It's on, it's all on Twitter for sure. If you just find the Aggie yell practice videos, or just go to Twitter and search Aggie yell practice video or something like that. Aggie yell practice. Brad David, why do they play the national championship on a Monday and not Saturday? Less competition on a Monday, standalone window, better for TV. Bailey C saw T-Bob at the zoo yesterday. Hello. Okay. Saint for life, Matt. I don't understand the mindset of Saints front office. Allen hasn't done anything to show he is a legit head coach that can take this team to the next level. All the excuses about injuries are foolish. I'm with you. But they hired the guy, and they're going to give him a chance. Franklin Zubia, you're right. You're just don't see to risk injury, whatever hip injury he's dealing with. Man, Franklin, you got to do your spell check, bro. Read that and tell me what that's supposed to mean. Spurge, Brad David, does HUDCO repair TPO commercial roofs? Absolutely. Brad, please give me a call. We actually, we re-roofed Drusilla Shopping Center. There's a company called Terra Cares, which has a series of commercial buildings, like 36 or so of them around 7 states, and we've done several of theirs already, TPO. Yes, absolutely, Brad. That's a 100% no-brainer. We do a ton of TPO work. So, Brad, please shoot me a message, man. I would love to put you in touch with our GM and get the ball rolling there. That would be great. Thank you. Raymond, morning, Matt. Apparently a really good inside linebacker from Virginia entered the portal. Nick Jackson, thoughts on him or any other linebackers we're targeting? I'm sure this week we'll, Patrick Mahomes is so ridiculous. We'll have the opportunity to ask around about some players in the portal LSU may be targeting. But remember, guys so I can't tell you specifically about Nick Jackson, but what I can tell you is, remember, you have until the 18th to enter the portal, and those players can choose their destination at any point. So it's not like you have to make those portal decisions within the next week. Now, if these guys want to be on campus for spring ball, there is a little bit more urgency. Brian Payton, good morning. The greatest player in LSU history from the home of Joey B in Athens. Okay, in Athens, Ohio. There you go. Saint for life. Michael Thomas is done. I don't expect him to Saint any longer, unfortunately. Yeah, like Michael Thomas. That they restructured the deal. They converted his salary. They'll spread out the money over, I think, 4 more years, so it'll be lower cap hits, but just over a longer time. It'll save him a bunch of money against the cap this year, 8 figures. But yeah, Michael Thomas, for all intents and purposes, is done as a Saint. Some person in the NFL should get rid of the 17th game. Never happening. It's a money thing. That's why they added the 17th game. Who would be your defensive and offensive MVP for the Saints? Defensive, Demario Davis. Offensive, probably Chris Olave. Let's see. Bailey C, it's frustrating seeing LSU consistently not be competitive in NIL. Well, Bailey C, you should go win the lottery and take the cash, the one-time cash payment of $500,000 after taxes. Put $300 million in your bank account, and then just go pay everybody NIL money. It's a reality of it, man. We live in a poor state. LSU's doesn't have a deep roster of wealthy boosters. They have boosters with money, but not a deep enough roster of them to be able to just float the types of money to every player you want to keep for NIL. It's happening. You're going to get some and you're going to lose some. It's the nature of it, man. You kept Harold Perkins, you kept Will Campbell, you kept Emory Jones. You kept a lot of players that were targeted by some of these programs with big collectives. So you lost to Mario Tolan. If you put those four up, line up those four and say, okay, of these four, Perkins, Campbell, Emory Jones, DeMario Tolan, you're going to lose one of them. Which one are you losing? I mean, you'd love to keep all of them, but one got away. Yeah, good looking out, Dane, for sure. Harris 22, LSU ain't winning next Saturday. Alabama is that team this year, Roll Tide. Well, no, I mean, LSU never wins the Coleman Coliseum anyway. Alabama blew the doors off Kentucky yesterday. Matthew Torvik, more to Matt, FSU, LSU, looking like a top 15 matchup. Yeah, I mean, I've been saying it for weeks. That's going to be a top 10 matchup next year. Both Jaden Daniels and Jordan Travis back. You saw yesterday Jared Verse, the defensive end, announced that he's returning for another year at Florida State. So Jared Verse against Will Campbell will be interesting to watch next year. Joey Metke, more to Matt, just listen to Rosters to Riches with Jay Johnson. That was a really awesome podcast. Thank you for that. Yeah, man. Thanks for listening, Joey. I appreciate it. Taz, let's see, on Ross Jackson's podcast, he has Payton has openly talked about trading for Taysom Hill. No, Taz. Sean Payton joked, I think, on Cowherd's show several months back about trading for Taysom Hill. If he gets a head coaching job, which I assume he will if he wants one, I don't know. I mean, it was one of those, like, I'm joking, but, serious type deals where, like, yeah, he was joking, but if there's an opportunity to trade for him, he might. Let's see, Taysom's contract. Shoot. Arg. All right. Taysom's under contract through 2026. Through 2025. His restructure makes him a free agent after 2025. There's a potential out on the deal after this coming season. So I don't see. So for example, Taysom's cap hit for 2023 is 13.9. The dead cap number is 23.7. So there's no way the Saints are going to trade Taysom Hill and count $10 million more against the cap without him. Of course, if you're going to move Taysom Hill, it's going to be after 2023. Right. Chris Keller asked about Lamar Jackson. The Ravens are going to franchise Lamar Jackson. If they don't get a deal, they're going to franchise him. Gregory Brooks, what's going on? Good morning from Kentwood. Bubba Tatum, Wayne Blanchard, Samuel Merrifield. Do you think Payton chooses Denver? I don't know. I think it depends on which other teams make a run at him. We'll have a much better idea tomorrow after Black Monday. Ty Fly, good morning. Samuel Merrifield, which with Michael Thomas restructured. I'm so sick of answering this question. I'm sorry, Samuel. I'm not mad at you, but I already answered it once today, and I've answered it for months. No, you did not restructure Michael Thomas to trade him. They are cutting Michael Thomas, okay? He is done as a New Orleans Saint. And again, no team in the NFL is going to trade for Michael Thomas. No team is going to flip it. Let me ask you this, Samuel. If you were a fan of the Colts, would you want the Colts to give up an asset for Michael Thomas, a receiver who has not been healthy for 3 full seasons? Or just keep it as the Saints. If you're the Saints, would you want the Saints to give up an asset to acquire a player who has not played for 3 full seasons? Of course not. No, the Saints are not trading Michael Thomas. No team in the NFL, I don't know how much more clearly I can say this. I'm not mad at you, Samuel, so please don't misunderstand. But I've done rants on this. I've done it here. I've done it on AFR. We've done videos about it. I've said it everywhere you could possibly say it. The New Orleans Saints, Michael Thomas is not tradable. He's not tradable. It's okay, Samuel. Please don't misunderstand. I'm just going to say this so bluntly, so there can never be any more confusion. Please don't understand. Don't misunderstand, Samuel. I'm not mad at you. Yeah, I've said this for months now. No team is going to trade for Michael Thomas. Okay? No team in the NFL is going to give up an asset to acquire a broken down player that has not played in 3 seasons, that has a terrible contract. Okay? Nobody. So, no, the restructure was done. The restructure was done to give the Saints immediate cap relief and spread the Michael Thomas contract, which is still enormous, over several more years. Okay, so it's he'll be on the books longer, but for lesser money per year, which makes it more palatable. Instead of paying like I'm not mad at you, Samuel, I promise. I've said this so many times about Thomas. But anyway, okay. The new deal with Thomas restructures everything such that the cap hit for 2023 is he will be designated a post-June 1 release. And so his dead cap number will drop to 11.9 million from 26.1. So you're going to save like $14-15 million against the cap when you release him, but he's still going to have dead money on the books through the 2026 season. But it's going to be 14 million and then 6 million and then 3 million. So it's going to be more palatable instead of having like Michael Thomas's dead number for this year was 38 million. For next year, it's before the restructure, it's 26 million. So it's like they're still going to have a lot of money on the books for Michael Thomas. It's just going to be less over more years. But no team is trading for Michael Thomas. They would have to pay Michael Thomas a cash value in 2024 of $18 million. He would count Michael Thomas's cap hit. So with the restructure, Michael Thomas's cap hit in 2024, if he was on the roster, would be $59 million. No, they're basically just massaging the numbers to say, listen, thank you for a great year. Sorry, a great start to your career. Sorry it didn't work out. Here's what we're going to do to make this work financially. We're going to cut you loose and let you go find a place to play wherever you want. We wish you well. New beginnings. Okay. Samuel, it's not a bad question. I'm sorry to have been sort of, it's just a question I've answered so many times. And, but it's okay. It's okay. I'm sorry. I should have been more patient. But the reason I wanted to go so big with that answer so that there is no confusion moving forward. Like it's what it is. Anyway, okay. Ryan said, I love the shirt. Yeah, Eric gave me this a long time ago. I think maybe a Father's Day shirt. It's like Daddy established 2014. It was your Drew was born. A little like softball, the softball sleeves, yeah. Daniel Roof starting O-line next year for LSU. Campbell, Frazier, Turner, Dellinger, Emory Jones. Jeremiah Hardell, do we let Davenport walk? I think so. I'll put it to you this way, Jeremiah. I think you make him an offer, but if there's a team in the NFL willing to pay him $20 million a year, then he's going to walk, yeah. Taz, could you see the Saints drafting the running back from Bama? He's Camaro-like with 4.3 speed. So about Jahmyr Gibbs? No, because I think Jahmyr Gibbs is going to be off the board before the Saints are picking a running back. Let's see. Saints need to stop overpaying for draft picks and contracts. Caden Ellis is 1 year wonder at this point. You know what, though, Saint for life? You probably could have said the same thing about Trey Hendrickson. He had a double-digit sack season. The Saints decided not to pay him. He goes to Cincinnati, and he's proven to be one of the best pass rushers in the NFL. I think sometimes you just have to make those decisions. Like, are you going to buy a player you're going to sell? I mean, and that's a guy that has actually done it on the field. I'd rather than pay Caden Ellis and pay Marcus Davenport. Saints have to draft Bijan Robinson or Tank. Well, Bijan Robinson is going to be a top 10 pick. He'll be the first running back off the board. So, like, they're not going to draft Bijan Robinson. Dedrick Ford, Matt, not sure if you talked about Andrus Peat or not. What are your thoughts about letting him walk? I think so often we have these conversations and y'all don't look at contracts. You just throw out a player and you don't consider what it would cost to keep him or to let him go. So Pete was restructured. So they do have a potential out for Andrus Peat. So the out for Pete this year, if they released or traded him, the dead cap number would be $6.5 million, as opposed to the $18 million he would count against the cap. You certainly could move on from him, but do you feel like you have an option there? The thing that I would tell you is keep in mind when they drafted Cesar Ruiz, this is what happened. Everybody knew the Saints needed linebackers and thought that they would draft Patrick Queen. They didn't. They drafted Cesar Ruiz in round 1. And a lot of people were like, what the hell? Well, we found out the next day because they released Larry Warford. When they released Larry Warford, it became obvious they were going to have an opening and needed a starting offensive lineman. So, I think Pete could be an interesting decision if they designate a post-June 1 release, but it's really going to be, do they have a replacement for him? And I don't know, man. I think Andrus Peat is not the worst of your problems. Brant Roban, watch Michael Thomas stay healthy at his new destination. I'd hope that for him. Sometimes you need that. Sometimes you just need a new beginning. As always, shout out to Brock, y'all, Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. Do me a favor, smash that like button. 142 there on YouTube, only 43 likes. I know we can get that up a little bit. Shout out to Brock. If you need orthopedics, go to Brock. Hudco Roofing, need a roof, give us a shout. Hudco Roofing, free, no obligation roofing inspection. Matter of fact, we have new next door neighbors. They just moved in about a week ago. We were talking to them yesterday, and they have a roof leak. They found it on inspection of the home. So I was like, hey, man, we'll get Scott, get our repair crew out there to take care of it for you. So Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Restored Motions, if you got pain, book a session with Crystal Poche, Restored Motions, and of course ProCharge EV, ProChargeEV.com. Electric vehicle charging station. If you got an EV, you need to charge it. ProCharge EV sells and installs electric vehicles all over the state of Louisiana, quite honestly, all over the Gulf South. Okay. All right. Trivia, thank you, Matt. Because of you, my daughter sings the Hudco song. You're welcome. All right, Brad Johnson coming into this late. Isn't there a system like the NFL has where you can contact players who are actively on another team? With college, when they enter the transfer portal. If a player enters the portal, then you can contact them, but not while they're on someone else's roster. Damon Perkins, Merrick Mathern, good morning. Good morning. Are Pete and Ruiz back next season with the Saints? Ruiz, yes, he's still on his rookie deal. As we just talked about, Pete, interest, they'll have a decision to make there, maybe. Brian Payton, is the Honey Badger and Dorsey 1A, 1B best defensive players in LSU all time? I mean, Dorsey is the most decorated defensive player in the history of the program. Tyron was obviously magnificent, but it was a shorter career. Tommy Casanova is LSU's only 3-time All-American. His number 37 is retired, right? So you'd have to have a conversation involving him as well. But I mean, that's probably, I mean, that's a good place to start the list. Daniel Blunt, good morning. Can NFL trades offer a player in cash like MLB trades? Yes, but nobody does it. Technically, you can trade whatever you want, but nobody does it. And I do it in the NBA also, but nobody does that in the NFL. Whenever John Gruden got traded, if you remember, from Oakland to Tampa, it was like 2 1s, 2 2s, and $8 million. So there was some cash involved in that one, but you don't really see it with players. Saints need to invest in draft picks or sign young nose tackle. Saints DT is a problem. Now, that's true. Saints defensive line has certainly taken a step back this year. And look, man, I mean, you let guys who had been stalwarts there walk. I mean, Sheldon Rankins with the Jets. Malcolm Brown had a good year with you. Your David Onyemata this year did not play up to his standard. You were not very good on the interior defensive line this year. That's true. That's fair. Matt did all that, and someone will still ask the trade question. You're right, Trivia. Someone will. We lost CD, Trey, and Marcus Williams because of money. Yeah, I mean, again, like, Daniel, you got to decide who you're... Well, with Chauncey, and look, I know he's a fan favorite, and I love him a lot, but the more I heard, the more it was evident, like, he was a problem in the locker room, too. So... great player, undeniably great player, but they value culture, and it's the reason that you saw guys like Junior Gillette and Jimmy Graham and Kenny Stills and all the way back to Wayne Gandy, like a lot of guys like that out. I mean, they value culture in New Orleans a lot. But yeah, I mean, Marcus Williams, they had their number, wouldn't go over it. Someone else paid him. Trey Hendrickson, same thing. The Saints decided they were going to pay. But the Saints paid Ryan Ramczyk, and they paid Marshawn Lattimore, and they paid Alvin Kamara, and they paid Michael Thomas. I mean, you got to decide who you're going to pay, who you're going to pay top dollar for, and what positions. And the Saints made those decisions, and some of them were good and some of them were bad. Like, with the benefit of hindsight, yeah, you shouldn't have paid Michael Thomas. Who knew he was going to spend 3 years injured? Alex Barnes, Matt, sorry if you covered it. Did you see the report about McVay? Not sure about next year. You definitely said the Rams would be an option for Sean Payton. You may have just called it, sir. Alex, I thought I also saw yesterday where Sean McVay clarified that he... Oh, so that's today, okay. Let's see. Schefter, McVay's immediate future with the Rams is in limbo. McVay will take time after Sunday's regular season finale to determine if he'll return in 2023. I mean, so, Alex, I mean, so a few weeks ago, that was my prediction. I went on record and said I thought Sean Payton would go to the Rams. And it was after, for those who don't remember, it was after the Rams were eliminated. And Sean McVay said this was a very humbling year. And remember, I'll say to you, remember a year ago, Amazon offered him a $100 million contract. Now, again, the only reason this comes up, and this isn't like PFA, it's not plucked from the air. Sean McVay has said many times on the record he's not going to be a coaching lifer, and he wants to do TV. Sean McVay has said that. Like, that's not those aren't splash reports or anything like that. Like, he has on the record said that. Hang on one second. Okay. So, anyway, real quick. So, Sean McVay has said on the record, not reports, this is Sean McVay having said this, like on the record, him, that he's not going to be a coaching lifer and he wants to do TV. A year ago, Amazon offered him a $100 million contract, 5 years, $20 million per year to be their Thursday night football guy. Now he said no, and now at Herb Street. So that job's not open. NBC's job as a booth analyst is not open. Collinsworth has that. Fox's number one job is going to Tom Brady when he retires, whenever that is. CBS has Romo. So there isn't a job for a number one analyst open. Does he want to do studio work? Maybe. But I guess the point is, like, that's not just fishing for clicks. Like, the man has said that on the record. Maybe he'll be back next year coaching the Rams. We'll see. Maybe not. I just tend to believe that with something like the Sean Payton thing, where he's going to coach next year, generally, there's always, and this is true in business and life when you're talking about negotiations, somebody is going to be interested who's just watching everyone else put their cards on the table and then comes in at the last minute and wins it. So I'm just curious. Like, as much as people have talked about Denver and Arizona and Carolina and also, like, generally, look what happened with Tom Brady in Tampa. When Tom Brady was a free agent in New England, everyone was talking about Denver and San Francisco. Everyone was talking about Denver, San Fran, Denver, San Fran, Denver, San Fran. Boop, Tampa. See. Let's see, Joey B19, basketball was rough to watch last night. Yeah, they're listen, man. They had 15 turnovers. They shot 34% from the floor. You're not gonna win on the road. You're not gonna beat many teams doing that. So, like, the Arkansas win was a lot of fun, but they won that game scoring 61 points. Like, you're not gonna beat many teams at all, let alone good teams, scoring 61. You better beat Florida at home on Tuesday, because if you don't, it's going to be a long time before you win another basketball game. Daniel Roof, do you think LSU will be the SEC West favorite next preseason? So I've said, Daniel, that I think there's a really good chance that they can or maybe should be, but it may depend who you ask. So at SEC Media Days, there's certainly this predisposition for people just to pick Alabama, and that may be also why in Vegas, Bama might be the betting favorite, just because, like, if you look at national championship odds for next year, even though Bama doesn't have a starting quarterback, like, after the game tomorrow, Vegas will put out, early odds for next year's championship, and Bama's going to be the betting favorite, because Bama and Georgia will be, because they're Bama, Georgia. It'll be Bama, Georgia, Ohio State, beat all the same people. So, anyway. Sounds like Drew's backpack. LSU Sports Fanatic, what's up? Joseph Fallsgraf, are we done paying Drew Brees? After this season, yes. Drew finally comes off the book, yes. Murder Giraffe, good morning. Von Bluesman, good morning. D, the Gorillionaire. After Nola no call, I think Saints fans would lose it if he went to the Rams, unless compensation is really good. Honestly, D, I haven't heard that from anybody. Like, I mean, that's the first time anyone's brought up Nola no call about Payton to the Rams. I just, whatever. I mean, I don't care where he goes. I just want the compensation, right? But remember, the thing about the Rams is the Rams don't have picks. Remember the F them picks? When the Rams traded for Matthew Stafford, they gave up their draft capital. So if you're the Saints and you make a deal for Payton with the Rams, you're getting future assets. Murder Giraffe, the favorite is always going to be Bama. I mean, from a odds maker standpoint, remember they're trying to generate money on both sides of a line, so that probably is why they would put Bama there, because they're a public team. Damon Perkins, Matt, I haven't seen my nephew since last year. Drew the Admirable Scone. How's my guy doing? He's doing great, Damon. Thank you, man. He's just sitting at his table in there watching videos and playing different ringtones and whatnot. So see if we can get him in here in a minute. Maybe just about to wrap up, actually. So y'all take a quick second and smash that like button on YouTube if you have done so. On Facebook, please like the page, share the post, like the page, share the post. Let's see. Samuel Merrifield, Dalton takes many bad sacks. Dalton's just an old player, man. He's just done. He's just washed. He's a guy that could maybe hold the rope for a few weeks if you have an injury, but he's not a franchise quarterback anymore, if he ever was, you know. Leon Williams, how good is our roster to sustain the bad coaching and potentially still be 8-9? Besides quarterback, where do we need to solidify next year? Your safety play was dramatically downgraded this year. And I hate to say it, obviously, because we all love Tyrann Mathieu, but Tyrann and Marcus May was a dramatic drop off from Malcolm Jenkins and Marcus Williams. And obviously, you know, sending CD Deuce to Philly hurt as well. Because once you had the injury to Lattimore and, you know, Debo, I think Alontae Taylor is going to be fantastic. Y'all, please don't misunderstand me. I think Alontae Taylor as a nickel is a really good player. But with injuries, you had to play Alontae Taylor on the outside a lot this year, which meant you were even more vulnerable at that nickel spot. So, what a cool stadium. SoFi. All right. But I think safety, I think you've got to upgrade defensive tackle. I think linebacker, cornerback, you're solid when you're healthy. We'll see what they do with Andres Pete if they need to pick up an offensive lineman. I think you're good at receiver and at running back, and obviously you have got to address quarterback. So you got holes. All right, Ryan, thanks, man. Douglas Duhan, what do you think about the uniform combo? Yeah, someone had said earlier, Douglas, they wore this uniform combo like in the 60s, gold helmet, black jersey, white pants. I would really like it a lot better if they would wear pants with the stripe down the side, the black, gold, black stripes. The solid white pants, I don't like in any combo. I don't like the solid whites pants when they wear the all whites when they wear today. Like, I just don't like the pants they're wearing today. Like, you've got to put the stripes down the side of the pants. Craig Duga, I missed the general. Will Wade was A&M's daddy. Do you realize LSU had beaten Texas A&M in 10 straight in basketball? LSU had 10 straight wins against Texas A&M in basketball. It's crazy. That was snapped yesterday. Anyway. All right, y'all. I think we're just about done here. Let's see. Tramal, Scone, did you see the ring around the Rosie Kansas City did last night? I did. Like, what's Andy Reid doing? Is he just bored at this point? B. Lorky, you need to keep the ball moving in basketball. Is it possible to pass too much? Seems like LSU passes up good shots to pass the ball. Your thoughts? Yeah, well, of course, the purpose of ball movement is to get open looks, but you want the open look to be in the hand of your scorers. I think the big problem LSU has is they don't have great scorers, and that's going to continue to be a problem. So, anyway, all right. I think we're about done. Y'all have an awesome Sunday. Who dat? See if the Saints can go get a win today here in Week 18. Finish it off on a high note. YouTube, do us a solid, smash that like button. Facebook, please like the page, share the post. Shout out to Brock, Hudco, Restored Motions, and ProCharge EV. We will see y'all on the morrow. Who dat?